Greetings. Let me keep rocking with you, folks. It is the 5th of April, and I'm just going to keep going here because I have received a lot of stuff in the last couple of weeks, and I like to review or acknowledge, at least acknowledge, receiving stuff. And I'm a little behind, and I like to go in order, but I'm not because I just have to at this time. Yesterday, I received a package from Arthur in England. Arthur, you're very, very, very kind to me. He sent me some Don Rendell. I've been knowing about the Don Rendell jazz musician from England for a long time. Here we have him with Ian Carr, who started Nucleus. I have Nucleus records, and so I was familiar with Ian Carr's history. But I'd been reading about Don Rendell, and he's very respected, and his position in the history of British jazz apparently is pretty important. So thank you so much, Arthur, for sending me these CDs so I can now listen to, and I've already listened to a bit, to this one in particular already, because as I said, I knew this name, but I didn't know that I'd heard him. Now, the first thing I can tell you is I can hear why he is historically lauded. The playing is top-notch. You know, it's on a par with any other players worldwide. Typical of the time, though, most of the compositions are blues-based, okay? So for me, it's wonderful to finally hear this music. It comes at a time when my enjoyment of it is slightly compromised by how tired I am of the blues in general. Thank you so much, Don, for sending these. Don, you also sent me the book on John Peel, which I've been reading piecemeal, and that's the best way to read it. I must say that whoever wrote the book, for my taste, could have written it more readable. It's full of information, but I don't like the way it's written. It's not fun to read, and I got another book and I'm gonna compare it, make a comparison. But to finish up with Arthur's gift to me, he also sent me a single by the British folk singer June Tabor, an Oyster Band. I've never owned their records, but I've known about this woman since the 70s. Have never had occasion to find any of her records when I could afford it. Thank you so much for sending this single where she and the Oyster Band are covering Joy Division's Love Will Tear Us Apart. It's a wonderful cover, and the B-side, which is live, is beautiful as well. June Tabor has a voice that is very distinct. She sounds like no one else, and once you hear her, once you become familiar with her, you don't forget her. She's like a Sandy Denny. Fantastic. Thank you, Arthur. Yesterday I received this book from the author. He had contacted me on Facebook and said, I want to send him a book. I said, send it on, brother. So yesterday I received and have started reading already the Strawberry Bricks Guide to Progressive Rock by Charles Snyder. I just started reading this, but this I like, and it's written really, it's real readable. Charles, I know you're going to watch this, and I want to give you a thumbs up. I love the way you've laid this out. This is an revised and expanded edition. It's signed by the author to me. Thank you, Charles. It's laid out wonderfully with the prologue and the explanation of, you know, the acknowledgments, and then he does it on a timeline. I really like that, okay? I also like the fact that Charles says, like anybody else, you must understand that this is subjective. No one person can lay down the history of anything definitively. Everything is going to be shaded according to personal experience, where you're from, how old you are, etc. Okay? So the idea of the timeline is excellent. And the idea that basically progressive rock music started with Sgt. Pepper's by the Beatles, I agree with that. Now, you can probably parse and parse and parse and find this and say that. But in general, the way this book is starting, I'm liking it. I like it the way it's written. I can relate to his experience with the music. It's similar to mine. Just starting to look at what he's got laid out. I'm in agreement. I'm happy to say that I have a lot of these records. I don't have them all. And right away, in 1967 is one album that I have never been able to get a hold of. Blossom Toes, We Are Ever So Clean. I've been after a copy of that since 1967. And every time I've ever come across a copy in real life, I couldn't afford it. But that's one of the early albums that he is in here that I don't have. But just thumbing through here and looking at the records, and I like the fact that it's basically talking about the records. Thank you. I agree with it. I love it. And I'm going to enjoy browsily reading this. And I already recommend it, The Strawberry Bricks Guide to Progressive Rock. He also explains the title, which is something that John Anderson of Yes had said about symphonic rock. So there's that. Now, Max, I don't know who Max is, but Max sent me some really cool records. I'm still absorbing them, but let me go ahead and try to talk about them, okay? Max, thank you so much. He sent me some records that are very much in the wheelhouse of what I'm interested in. Unusual, off the beaten path. He sent me some great stuff. Here's one. This is Black Joker, Watch Out, Pacific City Sound Visions. And what we have here is a limited edition vinyl release of a sound work that originally came out on cassette. There's a whole community and history behind cassettes, trading cassettes, and making music specifically for cassettes. This reminds me of Mecpio Blue and Maurizio Bianchi, but not quite as grating, in that it sounds like there's some deconstruction and some tape decay going on with these sounds, where it sounds like something's being generated to the point that it's starting to break up. It's surreal. It's not a song. There's no songs on here. This is a looping, churning sound that builds and just builds, and then it's done. I really like this. Pacific City Sound Visions. A Coconut to the Stars. Let's see what else he sent me. Here's one he sent. I didn't know anything about this artist, okay? Lake of Violet. Lake of Violet, The Startling Testimony of Plumb Lines. This is recent. I think this is 2017, I think. Well, what we have here is post-rock, drone, kind of epic sounding, lots of guitars, and the sound just, melting into one another. The singing well, I need to listen to this more, okay? I've just gotten through it twice. Enough that it's like, okay, when they stop singing and they really go into the music, that's like, yeah, this is good. This is good. I'm not sure which is the name of the band. I think it's Lake of Violet. But Max sent this to me. I still need to really give this a solid listen. Now here's one that I've listened to, downloaded, as well as he got a download card. This is fantastic. Poemusia Concert by Pep Lopez. This is a reissue. This album is rare. Pep Lopez was in the band Coto and Pel, who had one album called Holocaust out of Spain. Another album that I've been looking for. It's hard to find and it's expensive. I have it on download. It is a progressive rock album of note. Okay, it's flawed, but it's, you want to hear, this is way better than Coach One Pell, and it's fantastic. There's aspects of ambient, but more importantly, I think, is references to Philip Glass and Steve Reich. This is beautiful, beautiful, really well composed, almost classical, like I said, like Philip Glass or Steve Reich. This is really good. Max, whoever you are, you hit the nail on the head with this one. This is just the kind of thing I'm looking for. Just fantastic. He also, and then he sent me two more. He sent this to me, which is, this is cool. The Fun Years, Heroes of the Second Story Walk Up. Another release on a primarily tape-based label. Spring Break Tapes. This is a limited edition. 300 copies. I have number 11. They're numbered. Love that. I need to listen to this more. I know that I like it already. I love the presentation though. Sticker. I love it. I love it. And then here's this numbered number 11 out of 20. It's on a piece of metal. Whatever the process is of getting this image on there, I don't know what it is. But that's in there. And then it's, oh, this is also on clear vinyl. Once again, kind of like the Lake of Violet, this is a sound work. I have to listen to this some more, but I was impressed right away. I can't really describe it just today. That's kind of like why I was trying to wait to say anything about these, but I may as well, and depending, I may come back and say something else. I want to again thank Max so much for sending me. This is just what I'm interested in. I'm interested in what people are doing all over the world with sound and music that we never get to hear on the radio or through the mainstream outlets. There's so much wonderful stuff going on. He also sent me a sealed copy of Async by Ryuichi Sakamoto. Now, I already have this on vinyl. However, thank you, Max, because my vinyl copy is a European pressing. This is a US pressing. And being a vinyl nerd, do I actually want both pressings? Yeah, I do. Of the two, interestingly, maybe my European pressing was just an anomaly, but this is quieter pressing. And what a phenomenal work. This is very deep and reflective. You know, this is deep. You can tell this is being made by someone who is confronting mortality head on, knowing it could be his last album. I want to be enthusiastic about this Frost Lake album. This is my favorite, my new favorite album. It's been a while since I've had something hit me really hard that I haven't played on, where it's like, wow, this is really what I'm looking for. Ice and Bone by Frost Lake. I love this. Now, I want to compare this more to prog, okay? Because when I listen to it, it's enchanting and it takes me away. And there's an aspect of it that brings to mind Moonchild by King Crimson and Melinda More or Less by Curved Air. This is fantastic. I've been speaking to, I left a couple of compliments online to Jan Todd. She's Frost Lake, the main person, and she's thanked me. But I want to thank her, and I want to strongly encourage you guys to listen to this, if nothing else. Frost Lake on Discus Music, Ice and Bone. Last thing I want to say is thank you very much, folks, for having an interest in what I do. And I need to generate some more income. I just got another sale, CD sale. Goes out today. Thank you. Thank you. Dereck 2 is picking up in sales. But I have these t-shirts, and I keep forgetting to display them and encourage you to buy one. I have two types of t-shirts. There's the latest Dereck Higgins Exploration design. I have a digital release called Exploration that this is based on. I'll leave the, whatever your size is, just let me know. If I'm out of it, I'll have it made. But it's time for t-shirts to sell. There's Exploration, and I also have Sound Waves. I'm sold out of this CD. I put this out on CD, and these are good t-shirts. So the very next two sales that I get, whether it's a t-shirt or a CD, whatever it is, as I shared with you recently, I have been inducted into the Nebraska statewide Music Hall of Fame. And yeah, it means I'm happy about it. Already there's some local press about it. The Focus magazine, which is a free arts and entertainment news weekly like most big cities have, this week's Focus magazine has an article on me. There I am. And what it does is it touches on Focus on Local. Hall of Famer Higgins busts through, with some pictures and a full-page article. It's a good article. He quotes me well. The next two orders, because I only was able to get a few of these, I wanted to get a bunch to pass on, but apparently this is somebody wants this, because the places I go to get it, where there's usually a ton of these, they were gone. I don't know if it's me, but I kind of think it is. Anyway, I was able to score two extras, besides one for myself and one for Randy LeMasters. So the next two orders that I get will receive a copy of this magazine, as well as what you order. Okay? I recently had someone ask me if I had an extra copy of Dereck 2 on Orange, and if I would sell it. I was really pleased to tell that person I already sold it last year for $100. Okay, that's enough of me, right?